This is video 3 of 4 of our mini-series on our new BAC855 design, and in this video we're going to go over the nuts and bolts of why this design is better. Let's do an overhead shot. This is a deconstructed BAC855 of the old design. It needs a custom battery connector to get spliced into the power wires, and an entire custom harness that gets stuffed into the potted section of the controller. Since every bike model is different, we also have to have different harnesses and connectors for each bike model. It also means that we have to take months to source and design these harnesses, and then we have to wait for them to get here for production. But now we have a universal version that goes into a BAC855 kit. Let's get into this new harness design. We've got a new main harness connector that I picked out. This one has a half round shape, so it's a lot harder to mess up the install compared to some other stock harnesses. And if you ever damage anything during your installation, we can just send you replacement parts. The battery connector is now a more universal XT90, and if your stock battery uses a different connector, then we'll just have an adapter for it. This one goes to a Super 73R, and this one goes to a ZX, and so on. Eventually, when you upgrade your battery, you can just plug straight into this XT90 connector. The motor connections on your motor cable are now much more robust than they used to be. We still have Hall sensor wires going straight into the controller. Here. And here. And we've switched the phase wires to a much more robust MT60 connector, which is much more durable and harder to mess up during the installation. With the old bullet connector style, it was really easy to just plug these in halfway, and what happens is these are going to heat up with an improper connection and they're going to melt over time. The MT60 is a lot easier to install properly, and we're going to see a lot fewer heat issues over time. We also added an optional auxiliary connector for turn signals. If you ever want turn signals, you can connect the turn signals to this secondary harness, and it's got turn signal connections front and rear, so you can run turn signals on any BAC855 kit from us. Our vehicle harness already has a plug for auxiliary, so that you can connect the really popular turn signal controls that people use on Super 73s in here. I kind of think of the controller as the brains of your e-bike, and the vehicle harness as the spinal cord. And if we control the design for both these parts now, then any future change can be accomplished with adapters. That means that this setup makes everything future-proof. So this vehicle harness is set up to adapt to a stock Super 73, and it comes with this throttle adapter to adapt to the stock Super 73 throttle. So now you're no longer stuck to the stock throttle. If you want to change out your throttle, you can change to a stock or OEM throttle, or you can unplug the adapter itself and you can change to a completely new throttle that now we know the wiring pinout for. So now this concept of adaptability applies to everything that connects to the vehicle harness. Throttle, headlights, whatever you want, all it takes is a different adapter and you can still be plug and play. What this means for us is now we can support new bikes much faster. Instead of having to source connectors like these that are custom, sometimes really hard to get, we're just going to replace it with our own parts. So the controller and the vehicle harness are going to stay the same, and all that's different between different kits is the flash on this controller and the little adapters that come on the harness. And again, if anything ever goes wrong during installation, now it's a lot easier for us to debug, and we have spare parts to send to you. It's easier for you to do a good install on your bike, easier for us to troubleshoot, support new bikes, maybe build more parts and accessories for you. Okay, that's enough nerdy stuff. Let's get into the last video.